Hi, everyone. This is Frank with Teaching University. And in this lecture, we're going to be diving into Earl Nightingale's work in the concept of ask and it shall be given. Or to put it another way, to ask for the things that we want and desire in our life. And it seems to me that so many of us are hesitant to want to ask for what we want because we have this perception or this preconceived notion that asking for what we want is being selfish or that we're putting ourselves ahead of other people. But in order for us to be of service to others, to improve our lives, to overcome our self limiting beliefs, and to make our communities, our families, and the world a better place, it requires then that we do put ourselves first and we make, or at the very least, make ourselves a priority and to make success, abundance, joy, love, and happiness a priority in our lives. And that starts with asking for what it is that we want. To ask those around us who are influential in helping make things happen, to perhaps impress upon our subconscious mind, our higher self, what it is that we want, and to ask the unseen force, the God or this higher intelligence, energy, nature, whatever you want to call it. Ask it what it is that you desire and surrender to these unseen forces. Just because you can't see something does not mean that it is not possible. And that is the essence of faith. So to quote Earl Nightingale, he says that, and actually he's quoting from a verse, Bible verse. He says, ask and it shall be given, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. So there's biblical context here when it comes to asking for what it is that you want. But it is not enough to ask, but it's to ask in faith, knowing that what you are asking for will be brought forth into your life. And in fact, that what you want is already here now. Remember, what we ultimately seek is a feeling, to feel a certain way, to put ourselves in an ideal state. And we believe by entering a certain relationship, having a certain career, a certain amount of money or health will help us put us in this ideal state. But we do not have to wait for something outside of us to feel a certain way. We can feel this way right now. But by asking then, we bridge the gap from where we are to where we want to be. We begin the process of creation. And that is to ask for what it is that we desire. So Earl Nightingale says that the biggest mistake that you can make is to believe that you are working for somebody else. Job security is gone. The driving force of a career must come from the individual. Remember, jobs are owned by the company. You own your career. What's interesting about this quote from Earl Nightingale is that he said this in the 50s or early mid 1960s. And this quote is just as relevant today as it was when it was first said by Earl Nightingale. Because today, in this economic environment we're in, it is the exception rather than the norm to work for one company or one job for an entire lifetime. More and more often than not, you will jump through several different jobs or careers or businesses. That is now the norm in this economy today. Or to put it another way, then, you want to become your own CEO. You are the CEO of you. And you want to be responsible for all the success and abundance in your life and make yourself a priority to make your life more efficient, abundant, and to think and act in ways that will create this abundance in your life. And by really thinking about what it is that you want and not be afraid to ask and express yourself authentically. And I've discussed this in many of my lectures. The importance of authentically expressing yourself, something that Abraham Maslow stresses in his hierarchy of needs and in his work. That is the pinnacle of human experience and creative expression. We express ourselves authentically. And to do that, part of it is being unafraid to ask for what it is that we want without fear of what other people will think of us. And to make yourself a priority and make abundance and success a priority in your life. And Nightingale says that most people live a life of quiet mediocrity and never achieve the success they truly desire because they get impatient They want easy success or none at all. They see the path to success as a frustration, an impediment. Each day spent short of the ultimate goal is viewed as a time of failure and as an annoyance. As such, they get distracted by hundreds of little things that each day try to get us off our course. Yet the successful among us know the truth. And that truth is that what you become, what you think about, what you focus on, that will materialize in your life in some way. And what happens throughout this process of creation is that we visualize and we perhaps write down our goals and we do these meditative exercises to reshift our focus and mindset from much of the work that Neville talks about, and Abraham Maslow, Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, and others, about the importance of visual feeling the wish fulfilled. But what happens is that we embrace this process for a period of time, but then we see that we don't get the results that we want. We move towards a particular goal. We see we don't get a result. We get discouraged, and then we stop following through, and we give up. When we are so close to achieving what it is that we want. So the important thing here is to be patient with this process. Life is not as linear as we would like for it to be. We don't know necessarily when a desired outcome is going to occur. Remember, there are unseen forces at work that have to move things around in order for this desire to be brought forth. But when you feel as if the wish is fulfilled, when you live in the present moment, you no longer become impatient because you have everything that you need now, which is ultimately to be in an ideal state. So impatience then is feeling this separation from where we are and where we want to be. But we can put ourselves in an ideal state in any moment. When we're meditating, when we're driving, when we're at work, when we have some time to ourselves, we can take the time at any moment of the day to step back and realize we have all we need. And when we realize this, that we have this power, that we have this universal energy within us, we no longer become impatient because we have everything we need. William James said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. We need only in cold blood act as if the thing in question were real, and it will become infallibly real by growing to such a connection with our life that it will become real. It will become so knit with habit and emotion that our interest in it will be of those which characterize belief." He also said, "If you only care enough for a result, you will almost certainly attain it. If you wish to be rich, you will be rich. If you wish to be learned, you will be learned. If you wish to be good, you will be good. Only you must then really wish these things, and wish them exclusively, and now wish at the same time 100 other incompatible things just as strongly." So, as I said before, what Nightingale is saying in quoting William James, it is feeling that what you want is already real, that it is already in your life and in the present moment now, and focusing on that. When we grow impatient in this process, we end up switching our focus to, as Nightingale says, all these other hundreds of incompatible things that don't match up to what it is that we really want. But by staying the course and sticking with this process of creation, by visualizing, meditating, journaling, and living out and embodying the kind of life that we want to live, it is natural that over time, life begins to change automatically and effortlessly, where we begin to move and act in ways that go for our self-interest, to help propel us to where we want to go. And it starts with being patient and realizing that the wish or what you desire is here now in the present moment, feeling that what you want is here. And that's why it's important to use our emotions, to use our feelings as leverage, and taking the time to disconnect from our circumstances, our external environment for a period of time, and meditate on this and really think about what it is that you want. And that's why I think negative emotions are just as important as positive ones, because negative emotions, by listening to them, reveal what it is that we truly want in our lives. And by doing this, then we can move ourselves in a much more empowering direction towards where we want to go with less effort and strain. So this is a longer quote from Nightingale. He also quotes Napoleon Hill as well. And we're going to be going the 6 easy steps to transform a burning desire into reality. So according to Nightingale, these 6 easy steps start with fixing in your mind an exact picture of what it is that you desire. It's not sufficiently merely to say, for example, I want plenty of money. So it's important to be specific about what it is that you want. You don't have to know necessarily how you're going to get it, how this outcome will occur, but you want to be as clear and as specific as possible. Write down in as much detail what this goal looks like, what it feels like, what it even tastes like, the people you're surrounding yourself with, the kind of person you're going to be when you achieve this goal, the kind of person you need to be to have it, and so on and so forth. So be definite as to the amount. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the thing you desire. There's no such reality as something for nothing. Establish a definite date by which you intend to possess the desired goal. Create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you feel entirely ready or not to put this plan into action. Write out a clear, concise statement of your responses to the preceding 4 steps. Read your written statement out loud twice daily, once after arising in the morning and once just before retiring at night. And as you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of whatever your goal happens to be. Through some strange and powerful principle of mental chemistry, nature wraps up in the impulse of a strong desire to something which recognizes no such word as impossible and accepts no such reality as failure. This is the unseen force that William Walker Atkinson has discussed, Neville, and even modern day mystics, as like Joe Dispenza, for example, who's talked a lot about this, discussing the importance of embracing and becoming aware of this unseen force. And of course, we can get very religious with this when it comes to our faith and whatever religious denomination you're in, or whether even if you don't subscribe to faith, for example. By recognizing the forces within us in our higher mental faculties and the subconscious mind, and recognizing that just because you don't see something doesn't mean it's not possible, we can begin to embrace impossibility in using the powers that we have to bring forth our plans into life, and being clear and specific about what it is that we want. And don't worry about how it's going to happen. You put yourself in a relaxed state and assume the wish fulfilled. Through meditation, use affirmations to assume and affirm what you desire, and be clear about this. And this does not have to be complicated. Just spending a couple minutes a day doing this can be life-changing. It can help you overcome some self-limiting beliefs that you may have been struggling with for quite a long time. But being definite, or creating a definite plan and being clear about it and specific, and waking up every day with a sense of excitement that what you want is already here, and begin to take some sort of action to move towards this more desirable future. Naturally, over time, it becomes effortless, where no matter what is going on outside of you, you are in a state of flow because you are in the present moment now. You are no longer striving, you're no longer struggling, because everything that you want is already here in the present moment. So Earl Nightingale reinforces what I said about being relaxed. Think about your goal in a relaxed, positive way. Picture yourself in your mind's eyes having already achieved this goal. See yourself doing the things you'll be doing when you have reached your goal. Relax in a very positive way. Don't try to force it consciously. Don't try to force this outcome. You can do this laying down, sitting down in a chair, or even just going about your day. Just taking a couple minutes, taking a few breaths. And in a relaxed way, imagine and visualize your goal. Imagine that what you want is already here. Imagine what it would feel like if you were successful in relationships, in your career, that you had all the money and resources available to improve your life and the life of others, that you were making an impact, that you made that sports team, that you got accepted into that organization. You have new relationships that were empowering and inspiring. The list goes on and on. Again, this is highly subjective. It's whatever it is that you want. But just take the time just to visualize and pretend even that what you want has already been achieved in a relaxed way without trying to force it. So there's a quote from Bob Proctor, who really is one of the disciples of Earl Nightingale. And Bob Proctor, I follow a lot of his work as well and a lot of his lectures on YouTube. And he says from his book, The ABCs of Success, wake up winners are wide awake. They are alive. Every day you will find them in the marketplace making things happen. The real winners are not just dreamers, although they have dreams. They are doers. They realize their dreams. They're the bell ringers, always attempting to wake up others to the numerous opportunities life offers. So it's feeling alive. Feeling alive means living in the present moment now, where the actions we take are in congruence with our beliefs and what it is that we want. We're listening to our instincts. We're not working the problem within the problem. Rather, we're acting out on our instincts and our desires on what we want. We're not conforming to what reality tells us how to live and how to work. We live life according to the way we want to live. And this can be difficult to do because there's conventional wisdom and norms out there. I'm not saying we should totally disregard conventional norms and wisdoms, but we do have to start listening to our intuition and begin to take action and not worry about what other people think. And embrace the present moment and feel the wish fulfilled now. And by doing so, then, you're in a relaxed state where you're not trying to force outcomes. Every action that you take, it seems to work. Or even if a desired outcome doesn't occur through your actions, the action you take makes you or puts you in this state of flow where challenge meets skill, where you thoroughly enjoy the process of creation. And that you're not trying to force an outcome. You're not waiting, but you are intentionally creating your life in the present moment and living out your ideal state. And that is what it means to truly become alive. That no matter what is happening, you're in the zone, you're in the moment, you've got it, because you've accepted the fact that you have the ability to create your life the way you want it. And that's incredibly empowering. So Proctor says that thoughts are things. I hold it true that thoughts are things. They are endowed with bodies and breath and wings. And that we send them forth to fill the world with good results or ill. That which we call our secret thought speeds forth to earth's remotest spot, leaving its blessings or its woes like tracks behind it as it goes. We build our future thought by thought for good or ill, yet know it not. Yet so the universe was wrought, thought is another name for fate. Choose then thy destiny and wait, for love brings love and hate brings hate. This is a quote from Henry Van Dyke that Proctor was quoting. But how thoughts are things, and I made a whole entire lecture on this, is that what we choose to think about and focus on and what we become emotionally attached to can impact our reality in a positive or negative way. And the secret then to life is by becoming self-aware and by being diligent about what we choose to think about. We can control the way we think. It is your mind, after all. You can decide how you want to think. But that does take work. Again, why meditation, journaling, studying personal growth, reading, acquiring knowledge, and making the effort to change will pay dividends almost immediately. So it's important not to run on automatic where we allow these self-limiting subconscious programs to sort of take over, where we simply react to what is going on outside of us. We stop reacting and stop conforming to our circumstances, but we make our circumstances that we desire. Not through force, but by becoming, through assumption, and through embracing love and success and allowing the universe to reveal itself and work itself through us. And by doing this, by embracing this sort of surrendering to this unseen force, we become much more energetic because we don't feel like we have to force things anymore. What creates burnout and frustration is when we're taking actions that go against our instincts, when we're trying to force an outcome and we just stay busy for the sake of it. More often than not, this doesn't take us anywhere. But it's by becoming what we seek and what we ask for. So to quote Mahaley Simmons and Hiley, he says, I have a naive trust in the universe that at some level it all makes sense. And we can glimpse it, we get glimpses of it, that sense if we try. Oh, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. And we can get glimpses of that sense if we try. So what Mahaley is saying here is that if we pay attention, we can get glimpses of this universal power, this energy, this intelligence, if we know where to look. And these signs are all around us if we're willing to pay attention. And when we ask for what it is that we desire, these signs seem to appear. But we have to pay attention. If we don't pay attention and we get distracted, as Earl Nightingale says, by 100 little things, because of our impatience, we miss out on these signs that tell us what to do. And to quote Paulo Coelho, he says that when a person really desires something, all the universe conspires to help that person to realize his dream. Because action, as important action is, action can only take you so far. And that's where embracing this concept of conspiring with the universe, where this universal intelligence conspires with you to help make this dream a reality. It may not happen exactly on your time frame, but by staying patient and staying the course and going about your life and living your best life now and being happy at the present moment, regardless of what's happening, the universe will conspire with you to make your dream a reality. And to do that, it just means to ask. So in concluding this lecture then, when we depart for this lecture today, ask for what it is that you want. Write down what you want. Embrace it. Feel as if the wish is fulfilled. Use your imagination and do not be afraid of whether or not what you want is realistic. That doesn't matter. Just write down what you want. And doing this enough times, doing this exercise enough times, and by paying attention to how you feel in this process and not trying to force anything, except how you feel throughout this process, you begin to let go of these self-limiting beliefs and unshackle this energy that's been buried inside of you for a long time. And when you release this energy, that's when magic truly, truly happens. And I really believe that. So thank you so much for listening to this lecture. I'll see you next time. Take care.